While you seem to be extraordinarily keen and interested in promoting use of ICT in rural development, currently there seems to be a slackening of interest among donor agencies in this area for ICT for development. What do you think about it? Why are they slackening their interest in this area?
Can you repeat the last part?
You seem to be extraordinarily interested and keen to promote the use of ICT in rural development. You seem to be so enthusiastic and happy about it when you explain your work. I could see that. But the donor agencies currently seem to be pulling out of this area, whether it is SBC or it's
donor agency, their own perception. Some of them immediately want commercial models, which people will pay. Why don't you develop services like email and so on? That can be done. But I see, after all, government, that's why we got knowledge connectivity included in Bharat Nirman, or a new deal for rural India. This is a very large program, 1,75,000 crores, from which the DIT started 100,000 CSCs. Now, Bharat Nirman is a new deal for rural India, and we felt that a new deal will be completely, it will be lacking in something very important if it does not include knowledge connectivity and only concentrates on roads and so on. So government was good enough to include it in the knowledge connectivity. You see, we spend hundreds of thousands of rupees on bringing irrigation water. Now, we are not asking why public funds are used to bring irrigation water. Why should we be wary of spending some money, not minuscule in relation to what we spend, for knowledge connectivity? And therefore, I believe it's a fundamental responsibility, particularly India having a legislation, Right to Information Act, which makes it mandatory for government to provide information you need. This kind of information, which is relevant to the day-to-day health, day-to-day agriculture, day-to-day animal husbandry, day-to-day fisheries, I think it's an investment which must be made from public funds. The donors can do catalytic role. IDRC has played a very important catalytic role, shown what a technology is. But if it is to be scaled up, it is difficult only to foreign donors. Foreign donors can help to kick-start the movement, but may not be able to sustain it forever. This has to be done by national sources. And I am confident that in another 2 years, by end of 2010, wherever the knowledge center has been based upon the ground rules I mentioned earlier, like demand-driven information, dynamic, local, gender-sensitive, and so on, then I think people will take care of themselves. They won't need your help at all. And here is an area where you have to learn to labor and to wait. You can't just if you are restless and wait. No, not only, same thing I know. The Green Revolution, somehow in 4 years we increased wheat production by an order which was higher than the previous 4,000 years. That does not happen every time. But it can happen. Already it has happened in the case of ICT. It has happened in the case of mobile phone. People are now buying it. They are not. So once they know something is useful to them, they won't mind paying. So I would say, learn to labor and to wait. Don't labor and then go out. Then all the investment will go waste.
You must be an extraordinarily satisfied man. In the sense, what you started 12 years ago has now been picked up by the government, by other agencies, a national alliance has been formed. It has grown into a large movement in this country. Do you think there is still something left for you to do in this area, or are you comfortable with what you have achieved?
No, I am particularly happy that the idea has caught on. As I said earlier, in 1992, the idea was almost poo-pooed in the sense people thought this is just wishful thinking. Now nobody talks about it. Everybody takes credit. ITC takes credit, Hindustan Liver takes credit, all of them for what they have initiated. And they have got international publicity in the wealth at the bottom of the pyramid. These are all shown as an example of the corporate initiative. But what is needed is some kind of, as I said earlier, patience. You see, it is easy to, in any human affair, when you do something, even the Green Revolution, within 2 years people criticized it. saying that the rich people are benefiting, the poor are not benefiting, and soil is getting degraded, damage is being done and so on. It's always easy to criticize, but what is important is what will happen to village India without this technology. I would ask myself, not so much whether the technology is important or not. What will happen to them if today, if those knowledge centers in the villages where they exist, it didn't exist, what will happen to them? Therefore, it is important to look at the positive aspects, and we can't deny to the rural India where 70% of our population live, and where more than 70% are young people below the age of 35. They must have access to the latest technologies, whether it is ICT, whether it is biotechnology, whether it is space technology, whatever nanotechnology. We should bring the best in modern technology to rural India. Otherwise, they will, what we call two Indias, Bharat and India, will continue to persist and will lead to a lot of conflicts and social unrest. Naxalite movements will grow, unemployment will grow. For the young people, the angry young people, when they don't have jobs, when they don't have. So I think the multiple benefits of an information age must be taken to village India. And I have little doubt at all whether donors come or not. The technology is here to stay and it will spread.